The only person with whom you have to compare yourself is you in the past. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. The more the sexual object is withheld, the more intensely it is desired. The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. Only the complete absence of sex can be considered a sexual deviation. Everything else is a matter of taste. People are more moral than they think, and far more immoral than they can imagine. The girl takes a man to be for her not only a protector and provider, but also someone to look up to intellectually. Where such men love, they have no desire, and where they desire, they cannot love. The sexual life of adult women is a dark continent for psychology. It may be that men are more prone to lie than women, but they are certainly more adept at it. All people are born bisexual and later choose their sexual orientation depending on their life circumstances. Love and work, work and love, that's all there is. Dreams are means of satisfying unconscious wishes. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. A woman should soften but not weaken a man. Sexual life is not just an appendage and secondary relation to the life of the mind. Most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. Masturbation is one of the primary abodes, the primary addiction. Ensuing fixation, liquor, tobacco, morphine are just substitutes. Dreams are often most profound when they seem the most crazy. A woman will never want sex with a man who doesn't get her hints. Friendship is an art of keeping distance, while love is an art of intimacy. The first indication of stupidity is a complete lake of shame. The best is always the enemy of the good. A father death is the most event, the more heartbreaking and poignant loss in a man's life. Recognizing a problem is half the success in solving it. The great question that has never been answered, and which I have not yet been able to answer, despite my 30 years of research into the feminine soul, is, what does a woman want? Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. The goal of all life is death. From error to error, one discovers the entire truth. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. Avoid women who talk a lot about sex because is a harmful and sexist generalization. The more the fruits of knowledge become accessible to men, the more widespread is the decline of religious belief. One day, in retrospect, the year's struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. If you want to live, prepare for death. Men are more moral than they think, and far more immoral than they can imagine. When you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. Where does a thought go when it's forgotten? The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. Ultimately, after endless rebuffs, it succeeds. This is one of the few points in which one may be optimistic about the future of mankind. The ego is not master in its own house. We are what we are because we have been what we have been, and what is needed for solving the problems of human life and motives is not moral estimates, but more knowledge.